Proper story is supposed to start at the beginning. Ain't so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world got all twisted, leaving him stranded on a rock in the sky. He gets up, sets off for the Bastion, where everyone agreed to go in case of trouble. Ground forms up under his feet as if pointing away. He don't stop to wonder why. Finds his lifelong friend just lying in the road. Well, it's a touching reunion. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. In the Calamity. That a survivor? No, ma'am. It's a gas fella, forced out from underground. Kid pops him good. Fella got a piece of him, though. Kid just rages for a while. An old repeater falls out of the sky. Ain't a gift from the gods, but it'll have to do. Gotta hold her still to spin up the chamber. Kid's worked up quite a thirst by now, so that fountain looks real inviting. Sometimes you just need a drink. A school of squirts tunnels up around him. Must have fled here from the mines. Kid finds a memento from a girl he knew. Always used to fancy her. It's a wonder the old saloon's still standing. Used to have the nicest view. He sets foot inside one of Zealandia's famous watering holes. Inside's old Rondi, the bartender. The Calamity got him before his drinking did. Then Kid finds his trusty shield. But just as he's getting a handle on it, the security takes him for a petty thief. Special delivery. Gas fellas. Windbags start turning up for last call. Squirts start coming out of the woodwork. A big old fella pops out in front of the kid. Kid sees the way to the Bastion out the window. It's a bit of a drop. He gets a good look at things on his way down. He lands on top of a breaker's bow, and it ain't broke. Kid spies a good perch for some target practice. Wasn't long before the kid could loose an arrow, strong and true. He knows he should draw the string all the way back. The kid pockets a memento from a breaker, once the fastest man in the land. Good news is the emergency defenses still work. Bad news is they're aiming for the kid. Picks up a few pointers from a dusty old tome. He's a mighty fast learner. He finds the distillery, right next to the arsenal. Tough part of town. One sip of the spirits in that distillery, and the kid'll feel like a new man. The arsenal's where the kid can pick the best tools for the job. Some of them squirts birthing like crazy in a couple of corn bins. an old ferry barge sends the kid on his way. The Bastion's real close now. Kid takes a chunk of alloy. The smell of barley and spoiled blueberries fills the air. Scumbags. Kid maybe shouldn't have done what he just did. Robs a scumbag of his last meal. Kid puts him out of his misery. He finds the core to the wharf district. He steals the city's heart. Might as well. Kid has a feeling you better get a move on. The place is starting to fall. See, that core Kid took was the only thing making this particular rock stay afloat. Kid just keeps running. At last, the skyway's in sight. Whisks him where he needs to go. Now the kid sees something stranger still. His mind races. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds another. He finds me. We talk for a spell. There's a bit of the Bastion's power in that crest, enough to point the way to the cores. All I tell him is to set that core of his on the monument there, then watch. I try to let the kid down gently. This is the Bastion, all right, except no one else showed up. And just like that, the Bastion comes alive. Starts growing again, growing stronger. Kid's gotta put its power to good use. Now the Bastion can send him even farther into the wild unknown. The Bastion ain't gonna build itself. Well, not entirely. Kid ponders what to build. The Bastion's a place of peace, but we can hold our own if we have to. Ain't much Kid can't handle with hammer and bow in hand. Kid don't know what's out there waiting for him. Ain't always much to say. The Skyway. Now the Kid can ride the wind to distant lands. The Wharf District. Folks sail deep into the boundless sea from here. The Breaker Barracks. Many straight shooters learn their way here. The Breakers used to come here for target practice. Used to play a little game. See who could bust the most targets and the fewest shots. He's focused. He's armed. Perfect shot just happens in a flash. Kid ain't done bad at all. Kid ain't had enough of the Breakers' barracks. Takes practice, and a mighty strong bow helps too. Puts on the right solid performance. He returns with some of the materials we need. Sometimes a single look says it all. The workman ward. Them windbags used to keep the city humming along here. Now he lands at the intersection between bad and wrong. Ought to be a core down one of these twisted streets. But which one? He heads for the squirt steps. Won't be no field trip this time. Scumbag can digest just about anything. Except for this. It's quick for slicing and light enough to throw. They say even the most rambunctious squirts can be tamed. No sign of the core here. At least the kid got something for his trouble. Them squirts just don't know when to quit. He heads for the biggest dump in town, Scumbag Alley. Some scumbag still feeding off the city's own trash. Up north is where the gas fella foreman used to live, tending to his flock. No white gas fellas all dress alike. Kids wondering the same thing. And there it is, but it's locked down tight in an alloy cage. Blustery old foreman's keeping his fellas in check, almost like he's showboating for the crowd. And now there's a new marshal in town. He hears the whole place groan, but it's too tough to fall. Might as well check the other side streets before leaving this hole. He heads for the east side, where windbags used to keep the local forge. Somehow that old forge is still standing. Inside the forge, Key can fine-tune those instruments of his. With a good length of meat gut, that bow's like new again. Kid packs a special surprise in every one of those arrows. Odd place to find the likes of Percy the Snitch. Never much cared for that big wide grin of his. There he is, the oldest scumbag of them all, Gershel. But Calamity ain't done much for Gershel's sunny disposition. Kid's ready to go, and his ticket out's right where he started. He comes back, just like I knew he would. The core hums in his pack, the monument's calling for it. The windbags used to be alright, then the Calamity took the floor out from under him. What else is there to say? Kid does it again. Only fair he decides what we build next. A lot of things need fixing up in this world, and we can start right here. A little Zolwood oil and that blade shines like a light. Picked up traces of other cores while the kid was out. show. I almost don't believe it when he says he passed the Breaker's challenge. A bow and a machete, every bit as effective as the fancier stuff. Couples used to walk the sundown path. Kid ain't here for pleasure, though. But then somebody gets to the core before the kid. The floor starts giving way under the lightest step. A single panic squirt could bring the whole place down. So could a reckless kid, for that matter. Fragments of the old world rain from the sky. Exactly open to visitors no more. See, the path was intended for leisure strolling and such. Not so much for noise and tomfoolery. One of them bridges whips the kid along. Finds a spyglass, like the ones they'd used to search the stars. Air travel always was an iffy proposition. But Calamity changed everything, even where the wind blows. Well, if we mastered the winds in the old days, we can do it again. But the question is, who else could have taken the core? Well, ain't no survivor stole the thing. Scumbag ate it by mistake. Tough break. Unlike the kid, that core ain't coming back. Know they used to ship live munitions down the path. Find time to find them. These wires to toss those things are plenty far away. Even gas fellas need some shut-eye from time to time. They get real cranky when you wake them up. In all this toil, Kid keeps coming back to an overwhelming question. Who else could have survived the Calamity? So he didn't find the core that time, but that ain't about to stop us. We could always see the stars, we just never could reach them, no matter how high we built. The repeater and machete, favorite choices of the Ura hunters we once fought. No place better than Trapper Shingle for learning to tread light and shoot straight. Trappers had to tread real careful here, else take a nasty fall. They trained themselves by clearing out the targets, while not clearing out the floor. Any good trapper knows never to take a step till the time is right. expert trapper's got something extra to give him an edge. To think a rickety place like the Shingle survived, when so little else did. Turns out those old bones still have some spark in them. Kid decides to keep working his aim and footwork on the shingle. Best time to pick a new spot was when swapping magazines. In better days, the melting pot was sealed tighter than the skin on a squirt. Of all the plans to survive the Calamity, it had to be stagweeds. Blasted things hurt like a broken heart. If there's a core, he figures it ought to be deeper down. Core stuck inside one of those fancy cages. Some of the stuff lying around was downright dangerous. No breaking a cage like that, but the kid tries anyway. Gotta find a way to spring it open. He throws a switch. Now what could possibly go wrong? Quite a bit, as it turns out. The cage starts lifting from the core ever so slow. All Kid can do is wait. Shipments start falling in. Not every squirt's born bad. Some spring to the kid's defense. Judging by the movement of the cage, it's gonna take a little while. Scumbags don't take kindly to interlopers. Even some gas fellas take his corner. Heard he popped that mean old foreman. At this rate, maybe 5 more minutes, maybe 30, hard to tell. Squirts get real territorial around the core. Then a shipment of free samples shows up. It ain't all bad, as the kid finds some spices from the motherland, tax-free. One thing's for sure, that cage is awful heavy. Troublesome scene, to be sure. A few moments left, and the core goes free. 10, 9, 8, 7, give or take a few seconds. Finally, the core's within reach. And done. He's got it. Just gotta get to the nearest barge. I still remember the look on his face after that one. The old world's finished, but the new world's just getting started. Folks voyaged across the boundless sea to found Calandia. It was good living here for a while. Makes time to sample spirits from my personal supply. Dread rum's brewed from swamp weeds, so its effect is as bold as its flavor. That ought to make those fangs sink in nice and deep. Kid's lifelong friends looking fit to keep on fighting. A repeater goes with a hammer better than a box of nails. Trappers got what they needed for a better hunt. The trappers would have been impressed with how the kid handled the shingle. Windbag Ranch was built for gathering squirt extract in copious supply. Ain't nothing more healthful. Some folks showed up to make a fast buck with nothing but a knife. Other folks came to train their throwing arms. Slippery little devils. Still others use the place to test their finest blades. Kid cuts all of them down soon enough. Place gets awful slick sometimes. Kid comes back from Windbag Ranch, smelling good and ripe. War machetes are so quick, you gotta keep a good grip on them. Always time for juice and squirts, they used to say. At least the little fellas can't feel a thing. Some squirts tried to flee on instinct. Best to put them away first, before they rile up the others. The ranch was always looking for good help. make short work of them things. There's always more squirts to go around. Carves through all of them in a flash. Well, the kid's gone and struck terror in the hearts of squirts everywhere. Fetching fizz is like a mouthful of nails, but the benefits are worth it. The Hanging Gardens. Folks used to go here to relax from their relaxing. The dead welcome him with open arms. The Calamity took everybody after all. Kid sees it plain, frozen faces all around. These folks never saw the Calamity coming, but someone did. Someone close. Someone who ain't like Mr. Beckley and his kindly wife. It was someone like him. Kid sees him there agape, in the flesh. It's a snag or two trying to get to him. He ain't about to stop, no matter what. Got so many questions after all. Just ain't got time for answers. The Tunda brothers didn't make it. They never saw what it was like beyond the walls. Norty the bird boy didn't make it. The Jawsons, they didn't make it. Grady Sr., Grady Jr., they didn't make it. But him, he survived. Kid finds proof enough that man ain't from around here. Just think, without that man, we wouldn't be here right now, would we? The core survived as well. Kid does what he has to do, and then... what do you say to a man who's seen too much? Kid hasn't a clue, but he says this: we have to go. Please. He's a proper gentleman, that man. His name is Zulf. No hiding he's an Ura. Folks like him ain't never been a common sight in Caelandia. He's relieved to see a living face or two. The kid and I introduce ourselves in kind. Both to him and to each other for the first time. For Zulf, Caelandia was like a second home. He's real worried about his first home, too. Far to the east. We fought the Ura decades ago, but that was then. Things are different between us now. We ain't much for pleasantries. We all lost loved ones in the Calamity, he says. I don't know how I'm gonna go on without mine. Zulf offers to help me plot the skyways for the kid. At least the Calamity hasn't touched the stars, he says. He was born in the Tazzle terminals. The Ura sent him on a mission of peace to our city, and he's lived here ever since. Kid ain't finished here yet. Of course, they remember. That's why this place is coming together. That's why things are gonna be alright. Well, look what we have here. The memorial. Here, kid can pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind. The valediction. Just another one of my sketches. Nothing more. Words can't express what happened, but they're all I got. We tracked down a couple more cores near the edge of the city. No use praying to the gods these days. No time for it either. Pith Orchard. Place is a dead end in more ways than one. Folks used to make pilgrimage here to pay their respects to Pith, the bull. Well, the gods are long gone now, and the orchard core, it's long gone too. The gods don't care about trinkets, but the kid ain't no god. Kid gives that old bull what's coming to him. Pith stood for something once. Something real. In time, though, the bull stopped being a symbol and started being decoration. Pith makes a decent scarecrow, at least. Then Pith lights up like a rodeo. Ain't easy punching through his hide. Kid breaks him to bits. Must have been guarding that shrine. So what'll it be? Invoke the gods, or tell them off? Pith. Kid decides to press his luck. Well, if the gods are alive, they must be plenty sore. Kid ain't never seen windbags that quick. Maybe old Pith put a scare in him. passes Pitt's trial, and he's richer for it. Kid ain't found the core, but at least he found Zolf's precious shrine. Now we can build a shrine of our own, though I got some alternatives in mind. Zolf doesn't touch the thing. Says the god of commotion is no children's toy. The Ura feared the gods. We turned them into toys, put their faces on our walls. The Breakers. Ain't no one can outrun them. Or their arrows. The Gravers. The arm of justice. They seemed unstoppable. Where whiskey has no scent, but tastes like a peppered boot heel. It's not for everyone. The accused always got a fair shake in Zealandia. Some used to take the bullhead trial. Survive the trial without taking a scratch, you'd walk away a free man. Bullhead trial taught folks three things. First, a good defense is a good offense. Second, you gotta always watch your back. Third, ain't no godlike bull up there gonna save you. The smarter ones knew when to just step aside and let things go. The kid pulls through in fine form. Well, the kid always wanted to compete in the bullhead trial. There's only one way to Cinder Brick Fort. The hard way. Sure, the city marshals may be gone, but now the fort's crawling with windbags. The Calamity was mercy for normal folks. The windbags ain't so lucky. They've been left to freeze or starve or face the kid. Well, windbags young and old keep fighting for the fort. Kid can't hardly tell up from down after a while. Windbags ain't much different from normal folks. All they want's a warm place to stay and a decent meal. Wham! Kid's ready for the windbags this time. The Calamity drove the windbags topside. A lot of them wound up here in this very fort. Could have been minding the business underground like in the old days. Windbags can't use the marshal's supplies, but the kid sure can. As for the windbags, Cinder Brick gave them enough heat and metal to munch on for a while. Well, the fort ain't theirs by right. Can't blame them for wanting it, though. So many of those sorry things holed up inside that old fort. Kid's blasting everything in sight with that newfangled musket. Security's plane gone haywire. Windbags gummed up the works. Kid ain't afraid of getting burned. Trapped the kid in the middle of the fort's parade grounds. Then they bring out Glutus and Glandon and all their scumbag uncles. They got something to gain, and only their sorry hides to lose. Kid takes down Glutus. Maybe it was Glandon. The other big fella soon joins his brother, wherever they are now. Kid used to dream of getting a marshal's badge, but not like this. The Skyway's a welcome sight after all that. And now ain't nothing left for nobody down at Cinderbrick Fort. Kid shows up just as Zolf's telling me about his own journey to the city. Zolf's travels ain't much compared to what the kids had to go through for all this. Behold the Pantheon. A Kobe. The Trappers, daring bunch of fools. They'll be missed. The Menders, they had thankless jobs, the most important kind. The Marshals kept the city's peace. They can rest easy now. I've asked a lot of the kid, but this is something he's done on his own. Seems the only thing the Calamity saved for Zolf was his smoking pipe. Poor kid collapses after just one drag. The past. Only good thing ever come out of the past is history. Catches up with the kid. Hardly had a moment's rest since all this started. Fair to say he's led a hard life. Supposing what he says in his sleep ain't no lie. He never knew his old man, but he had his mama to take care of. Frail thing with pure white hair like his. Having his mama's hair did the kid no favors while he was growing up, but he learned to hold his own out there. School ain't working out, so the kid signs up for a turn on the rippling walls. Make his mama some money. Thanks to folks like the kid, the walls kept Ceylondia safe from whatever's out there. The elements, the Ura, you name it. Once the kid done his time, he hurried on home. Turns out his mama's time was done too. The city had nothing for him. The money he'd been sending home was nowhere to be found either. So what'd the kid do? Why, he went right on back to the walls for another 5 years. In the history of Caelandia, nobody's ever volunteered for a second shift on the walls. What was I saying? Anyway. Out there, a kid learned to fend for himself. Learn to build. Learn to break. In time, the kid earned good standing with the marshals. They trusted him to scout out farther than anybody. One night, on one of his expeditions, the ground beneath him shuddered, cracked, and split apart. saw nothing where the world used to be. The Calamity happened just like that. Past don't matter for nothing now. Even since the Ura surrendered to us, the Marshals kept a wary eye on him. The Marshals seemed like good men, he says. They treated him with dignity. Zolf brought his antique smoking pipe all the way from the terminals. You want to tune a scrap musket, you start with the barrel. Kid's ready to get real personal with hammer and musket in hand. Ever felt a Zolwood gourd? Like picking up broken glass barehanded. At Zolwood Grove, Marshals learned to make every shot count. The trick was to pop all those nasty gourds without wasting ammo. Had to catch a bunch of those gourds in a single shot. Funny thing about muskets is they work best up close. It took a keen eye, not an itchy trigger finger. Kid takes a little personal time for just him and his favorite musket. Plenty of gourds to go around, even now. The orchard grew over so quick, the marshals made it worth clearing out. Kept on training until they mastered those muskets. Marshals did more. Turn 'em round and round all you like. Pit's still gonna be ugly. The city's unwanted things all met their end in the yard. Folks who fouled up would do their time here, smashing things to bits. The quicker they worked, the sooner they could go. Folks learned to plant their feet and put their backs into it. Others would plot a course to navigate that sea of junk. A good day's smashing could feed a family for a week. Ever want to just smash things for a while? You know where to go. Ain't never letting go of his old friend with a sturdy grip like that. Kid pays another visit to the scrapyard for old time's sake. Worked too slow and all you got was a sore back. Some folks invested their earnings to forge even better hammers. The strongest, fastest folks earn more than their fair share. The kids worked the yard before, but that time it just plain destroyed it.